da. About the Easter bunny. Dr. Stephen Ball, thank you. Our next film is by a director who's one of my favorites. It's Gregory Nava. He's a revered director, he's a writer and a producer. He first attended Ebertfest in 2004 to screen his Oscar-nominated 1983 feature, El Norte, which Roger inducted in his prestigious Great Movie Series. Thank you. Yep, you know, you can clap, and Roger told me never step on anybody's applause. So if you want to clap for El Norte, go right ahead. Of that picture, Roger wrote, "The story of its characters is told with astonishing visual beauty, with unashamed melodrama, with anger leavened by hope. It is a grapes of wrath for our time." Gregory Nava returned to the festival in 2018 for a screening of his exhilarating 1996 biopic, Selena, featuring a star-making performance from Jennifer Lopez. This morning, he's going to be screening one of his epic films, Mi Familia, and I'm going to bring the director out so that he can introduce his movie. Please help me welcome to the stage Gregory Nava.
Come on, let's have a big hug. Thank you, Chaz. Ooh, this thing is like, oh, just have to deal with it. So first off, I want to start off by thanking Chaz Ebert, Nate Cole, and everybody who is associated with this marvelous festival. Let's hear it for Ebertfest. Okay? But most of all, I want to thank the spirit of Roger Ebert, the great Roger Ebert. You could fill this theater with filmmakers like myself, Spike Lee, Ava DuVernay, who wouldn't have careers if we hadn't been discovered by Roger Ebert. Like he said in his movie yesterday, he got out of the ivory tower, got into the weeds to find the talent for the future. And he was a great, great man, and he's left a huge void in our cinematic landscape. This festival keeps his great spirit alive. So, yeah. So I'm going to teach you, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to teach you all a little bit of Spanish, all right? I'm making a movie about the great civil rights leader Dolores Huerta, who coined the phrase, "Si se puede," yes we can, which Obama used for his campaign. So I'm going to ask you a question, and after I ask the question, I'm going to say, "Se puede," and then you're all going to answer me by saying, "Si se puede." Yes, we can. All right? Are we going to keep Roger Ebert's? Come on, I want you to say this so loud that all the funders in the university and everybody can hear. Ready? Se puede? Si se puede. All right. Let's give yourselves a hand for that. In the 1930s, the Hoover administration blamed the Great Depression on evil Mexicans who were taking jobs away from real Americans. And they instituted a policy that was officially called Real Jobs for Real Americans. and they proceeded to deport between 1 and 2 million people of Mexican heritage. It didn't matter if you were a citizen. If you were Mexican, you were out, deported. Between 1 and 2 million people, half of whom were citizens of this country. Okay? Families were ripped apart. This happened to my family. Okay? And every Chicano family I know was touched by these deportations. The country moves on. The country forgets. It's not written in our history books. But the trauma from these deportations, the wounds continue generation after generation. My family still suffers from the wounds from our family being ripped apart to this day. Okay? When we made this film 30 years ago, those tragic events seemed like a distant memory that could never happen again in our more enlightened America. But today, suddenly, evil Latinos and immigrants are once again being blamed for the problems of this country and being forcibly deported and families ripped apart. And the horrific scenes that you will see in Mi Familia are being repeated in our country. And so now, suddenly, the film Mi Familia is more relevant today than when we made it 30 years ago. You know, Mi Familia does deal with trauma and sadness, but it's also filled with joy and happiness. And people ask me, they say, is Mi Familia a tragedy or a comedy? And I say, it's both at the same time, because that's what family life is like, filled with joy and happiness and also filled with sadness. Since this film is a Latino film, when we made the film, I insisted that we have an all-Latino cast. Now, the studio wanted me to cast, Robert De Niro or Marissa Tomei or Annabella Sciarra, and I said, no, I want all Latinos for this film. And I feel that the cast for the film Mi Familia is probably the greatest Latino cast ever assembled in the history of film. And we had Edward James Olmos and Jimmy Smits and Isai Morales and Jenny Gago and Lupe Ontiveros and all these wonderful, incredible actors that our community has. But for the young mother who is deported at the beginning of the film, I needed somebody very, very special. And when a young actress came into audition for me, a complete unknown who had never been in a film, I knew that I had found her. And I gave her first close-up a very special treatment, and you'll see that when you see the film. And that close-up is the birth of perhaps the greatest Latino star in the history of the United States, Jennifer Lopez. I was talking to Michael Barker about this yesterday, and filmmakers need to create opportunities for this great talent, and that is important to our film. And people also always ask me, did she really get into that river that you will see in the raging waters of the river seen in this film? Yes, she did. She really did that. She was a real trooper, an incredible performer. There are so many things about this film that I want to share with you, and we will talk about them all in the Q&A afterwards. The film won many awards, and 5 years ago, the people that made this film were deeply honored that it was named an American classic and elected to the Library of Congress National Registry of Culturally Important Films. I believe in the universality of the human experience. My films are about Latinos because that's who I am, but I believe that we are all one family. And so, Mi Familia, my family, is su familia, is your family. And so I hope that you all see your own families in this film. Please enjoy Mi Familia.